Yeah.
It's Friday night. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for What's on Joe Mind. As you can see, Joe Colton is on assignment again this week.
In Hawaii.
Yeah.
Fill in the chair. Ably is our good friend Brian Lower, Hooded Cobra Commander 788. Wave hi to the people, Brian.
Hey, I could never fill Joe's chair. She's much too tall. Her chair would be much too tall. So I'm just here. I'm filling the space, but in a much shorter chair.
She's like 2,000 miles away, so it would really be difficult.
Yeah,
it's the shoes that are hard to fill. Have you seen the toes on that girl?
Having Mai Tais. She's having Mai Tais with Rick and TC.
Yeah.
Right. Gotta love it when work sends you to Hawaii. Well, the rest of us are here. So we'll be right back with you after you listen to our kick-ass theme song. Good evening, one and all.
Yeah.
Welcome to What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. If I could say that any faster, I think it would break the sound barrier on it. Just sound like an explosion. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. And how's everybody?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Right.
Awake.
Well, frankly, that's a positive. That's an improvement. That's better than we were like 90 minutes ago. But everybody in chat is saying hello to one another. I don't know what's up with that. We had this thing up for like 20 hours. Come on, folks. Where were you? You got to show up early. Even Brian was here early.
I'm always here early. Look, I run a show. I know you got to do the mic checks. 1 2 1 2. All that. All that. I know how it goes.
You know how scientific we are here.
Yeah.
This is your 4th or 5th time sitting in with us, so it's an exacting process, exhausting, some might say.
I even got to be the reporter on the scene. I got to be the foreign correspondent.
Right. You were our live look-in, our senior Joe Fest correspondent.
That's right. Yeah. I'm still waiting for that check. I'm sure it's on the way.
Coming.
It's there. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's on its way. I promise. It got stuck in the typewriter, so it's.
Yeah, we forgot. We did it by PayPal, and we forgot to make it friends and family. So it actually came out. Okay, it came out to nil once they took.
So now that we're a couple minutes into the show,
it's all fees.
Joe Mind doing this? Well, it's too late now, Joe Fan 84. It's too late now.
Next week, try again.
You were talking about the show, the subscriber total after the show, and yet here you are, bitter with the audience. I wonder if there's a correlation.
There can't be, because I've been doing this for 12 years. I've been doing exactly this. I have a feud with the entire nation of Canada, and yet one of our regular co-hosts is a Canadian.
You have a feud with her too,
right? Yeah. Right. Anyways, joining me here in the top row, he's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's the Honcho Mark Weber.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. I happen to be here. Glad you guys are keeping me all Python patrolled, since I'm allergic to the Target store. So I appreciate the Irizaris. Since there's one next door to them.
Just about.
Keeping me nice and hooked up, and Hasbro Pulse helping out a little bit today too. So feeling like the cupboards are stocked.
Yeah, there's actually it is within arm's reach, the box of stuff that we're sending your way.
Outstanding.
I just didn't get a chance to get to the post office today.
No, I'm good for it. You know where to find me if I'm not. Hey, Webb, what?
What are you doing on the porch? Nothing.
Right? Can I use the swear jar? If I start cursing a lot, that's to raise money for my for the Target collectibles I semantically cannot pay for directly.
I do have to hit a Target sometime soon, just because I think the Batman 66 Egghead figure is coming soon.
Oh, with
Yeah,
that.
you gotta get Vincent Price.
You can't turn down Vincent Price.
That's any Egghead merchandise has to be.
I hope the next one's King Tut.
Well, I mean, as goes Vincent Price, so goes Victor Bono. So,
Oh yeah,
King Tut was born in Arizona.
was he now?
Yeah, moved to Babylonia. He's Sun Devil, man. Woo!
He's in the bottom row. He is the former host of our former show, Rack Time. Current project status unknown.
yeah.
It's Rack Time, Rob.
Hi everybody.
We're just gonna let Slepsky do it. He's on the show enough.
I'll do it with Schlepsky. We can both do it.
There you go.
Did you quit on comics, Rob? Like cold turkey? Like
I have not, but I mean I have been buying them, and then like they're piling up because I can't read them fast enough. Like
Maybe
I'll at night I'll like start reading them and like.
That's what Daryl used to do, man. Daryl the priest would never stop collecting, right? But he would be like, "Yeah, I'm 2 years behind."
I mean, I could be buying stuff that's utter crap, that I would have given up on a while ago, but I'm so behind on some stuff. It's like, gee, I have a feeling I've just flushed a lot of money down the toilet.
Daryl bought his books every week and got the Hasbro ones handed to him free, which is nice. But
yeah,
he was honestly, he would say, "I'm 2 years behind on all my comics. I have them all. I don't have time to read them."
I am caught up on all the Joe though.
Oh, there you go. But not the Batman
No, I'm actually kind of way behind on Batman.
or all the Spider-Man.
It's 56 books a month for Batman, so you can't possibly.
2 of them are good. Yeah.
Also in the bottom row, he is our special guest of honor this evening, filling in for Joe Colton, live from his own YouTube channel, highly successful YouTube channel. It's Hooded Cobra Commander 788 himself, Mr. Brian Lower is with us.
Hello there. I love Canada. I have no feud with Canada. To all Canadian people, nothing but love. I enjoy your maple syrup and your poutine or whatever other Canadian crap you guys do. I don't know.
You've had choice words for Portugal in the past, though, so don't act.
Those sons of guns.
With their funny clam chowder.
Or what was it? It was after the UK and Canada, our number one foreign Spotify listenership was in Poland.
Yes.
Poland.
Yes, Poland.
Yeah, stupid ones.
I hope your presence does not enrage the Polish.
Oh, I'll try not to. I don't know. I sometimes unintentionally enrage the Polish.
Because we're angling for free pierogies.
That's right. I mean, there's something about a little potato dumpling. Just gets my heart a-fluttering.
We're 9 minutes in, and we've already hit maple syrup, pierogies, and
potentially antagonize 2 complete nations.
That's a good
Yeah,
start,
let's just keep this going. Who's got Ireland? Who wants to take on Ireland?
No, I don't think any of us can take on Ireland.
No. There's some things that are just straight folly.
We invade Ireland. I'm hopping the fence and joining all my redheaded brothers. Yeah.
Your pale redheaded brethren.
Joe Fan 84 says my mom is from Canada. She moved to Montana. That's where my dad met her when she was in the Air Force. When he was in the Air Force. So there you go. So by law, I am feuding with Joe Fan 84. I didn't even.
There's a big Air Force base in Montana.
What else are they gonna put there?
Just to get across the state or what?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know. The thing now you know. The more you know.
I got a friend in Bozeman. I'll have him fill us in.
You can only whitewater raft so far across the state.
Isn't it true that Montana has no speed limit in like certain places? They're just like, the road's straight. Don't hit a moose.
Look, from what I've heard of a lot of Montana, I'd want to get out of there as fast as I could too.
All right. Well, before the show, we were taking shots at Cleveland. So, let's just, I'm detecting a theme for the show tonight.
We just hate everybody that isn't us, I guess. I don't know. We're bitter old men at the end of a work week. We don't know it.
Hey, man, I didn't mean to declare war on Cleveland Indian fans this week, but
Right.
touchy bunch.
That's a story for the Eternal Baseball portion of the show.
Coming up Sunday night.
Right.
Yeah. But hey, looking at it, we get the Matt Rubin seal of approval for picking on Cleveland, so it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
He's from Pittsburgh, so
Yeah.
that right there. You know, he's got that Northwest Pennsylvania vibe going. He doesn't want he offers Cleveland no quarter.
He's from God's country. Steeler fan.
Something like that. So I tell you, this week it's been a busy one personally, not so much in the world of G.I. Joe. We actually did have some news. And we actually had some correspondence come in from you guys, the fans, including, get this, a new remix for the community calendar intro.
Ooh.
So not only do we have one community calendar song, we've got a second one that will also leave your head scratching.
Nice.
And so from this is from let me make sure I got his name right. This is from Dave Ackles. Sent us this he did the video work on it too. So this is all him. I had nothing to do with this. This is just straight from the file he sent to you, the viewer, with our hearts. Get ready. It's time for community calendar. Absorb Vid, I will write you a new theme. Anything to stop that one. Well,
Wow. Wow.
I love it so much.
I like how understated it is.
Yeah.
Right? I gotta say, my favorite part is the Twilight Zone falling body. That's pretty.
I
slick.
feel like the next all of the community events after that have to take place in a East Berlin nightclub.
It was angular and beautiful.
Oh man.
Disturbing lack of Weber, though. I gotta say. I realize I'm new to the show and all, but
You know what? Maybe that's not a bad thing.
yeah, I guess you don't always want to be included, huh?
So there we go. Let us know which community calendar theme you like more in the
Would you
comments down
do me
below.
a favor? Put up Tim Peterson's.
Oh my god. Tim Peterson asking the big question. Am I on
Maybe.
edibles? You may be.
Maybe.
You may be. It's possible we all are now.
If you are, Tim, I can't even imagine how good that was. Remember, it was you, the people, who said maybe you might want to have a new theme for community calendar. All right,
See, the grass isn't always greener.
sure.
All right, so absolutely, we want to hear from you as far as which one you like best. So I'm going to play them both. We're playing both again right now. Both.
There's a Comic-Con or a toy show. What's on Joe mind? Wants to know. Tell Mike, Mark, and Joe. Community Calendar.
All right, so that's the original. I would say that the original has more pertinent information included. And now the new one from Mr. Ackles. One more time. Absorb Vid, I will write you a new theme. Anything to stop that one. Well,
All right, I take it back. I was in there.
Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Look, I love them both, but I'm going to give my vote for the new one because it's got Rob in there.
That is
You know what?
true.
That's
And
okay.
I can't be mad that I wasn't in it and then go, nah, I like the one that doesn't have Rob. So
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not going to be offended.
play it.
waving like a dip. And Sean Russo with our first super chat of the evening. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. Remember, all our proceeds collected tonight are going to the ASPCA, and we will match the first $50. So Sean has broken the ice on the super chat tonight. If you will, if you got questions for while we're doing news and community calendar, that's great. But try and keep them pertinent. We'll do the Ask Me Anything after we get past the news. So we want to leave as much time as possible for that. Let's go ahead and quit screwing around and get into
all the news and the community calendar.
Oh, get into community calendar. Next weekend it's Super RetroCon, the 28th to 29th in Tampa, Florida, at the Florida State Fairgrounds. They've got a Facebook page set up, so just search for Super RetroCon. You'll get all the details as far as tickets and guests. They will have toys and collectibles. They will have music and VHS. They will have contests and cosplay, a free play arcade, pinball alley, retro consoles, free parking. Bam. That's the 28th and the 29th. If you're in or around Tampa, Florida, you got to get yourself to RetroCon. We will be taking attendance, so make sure you're there.
You had me at free play arcade.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I could do my one walkthrough, sweep the Valley of Beachhead figures, and then play Rampage the rest of the day. Or Bubble Bobble.
Or Defender. No, wait.
Not Defender. I will play that for free. That game sucks.
Bubble Bobble. That was my my dark horse favorite from the day.
I like Elevator Action. You ever play that? Fine game.
That was the Activision for the 2600, wasn't it?
Well, it was an arcade game first.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I'd ever seen that in the arcade.
Spy game, pretty slick.
All right. Is it as good as Burger Time?
Burger Time's a pretty good game. I'll give you that one. It's no Rampage or Gauntlet.
Oh. Joe Fed 84S. Did you say it goes to ASPCA? Yes, that is our charity this evening.
And Colin supports it, the ASPCA, but not our show anymore. He had enough last week, so he's
that's or 2 weeks ago. Yes,
No, he was around last week too. I just didn't put him on camera.
we figured we started doing cat videos, so we needed to support the animal charities.
I might get Emma over here. We'll see.
That's right.
See, because they're nice to the puppies and the kitties, and they don't make you feel guilty for eating a dime bag of sea nugs.
That's right. Judgment-free zone.
And of course, that brings us sliding into G.I. Joe Winterfest. That is the same weekend. Oh, just a one-day event though on the 28th. Thank you, Joe Fan 84. We appreciate that. But all the details are at kygijoe.com for G.I. Joe Winterfest in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, on the 28th of the month. That is a week from tomorrow, so next Saturday.
What's that address again?
That is kygijoe.com.
It's going to be a pretty stiff show.
But in all truthfulness, I know these guys. They do put together a good show. It's going to be a deep room. If you're into 12-inch at all, KY is absolutely necessary if you're a 12-inch guy. So,
all right.
And
bye.
any truth to the rumors that Simon and Garfunkel will be playing their hit "Slip Sliding Away"?
Right. Attendance admission rather $8 from 10 to 4 that day. Early bird is at $9, and that is $15. And yeah, get yourself out if you're close to Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Get yourself there. Thank you to Marianne, who has no message for us, but a $5 super chat. We appreciate that, ma'am.
Thank you, Marianne.
Payne's Toy Samples. That is the worst web URL. Yes, it is.
Oh, it's
It's my favorite, actually.
It's so bad it's good. It's almost as good as nuts.com.
You can't forget it. It sticks in your mind.
Right. Makes me want nuts.com is kind of like that. That had to be the second site ever registered, and those people had to be on it, right? Like, who's thinking of that?
Hey, Biba, let's make a website.
Nuts.com.
But nuts.com actually sells nuts.
It
Right.
does.
Right. You can't escape the commercials, but it's there. It's nuts.com. And I don't know if they've partnered up with kygijoe.com, but I imagine that would solve some problems if they did.
Yeah. A lot less rubbing.
Seems like the synergy is there.
Mm. So yes, G.I. Joe Winterfest on the 28th. Bless you. Got that.
Thank you.
Knock that crap off.
Telling you.
Same weekend, but on Sunday, it's Pasadena Comic Con. And our pal Jamie Sullivan will be there. The guy who did the cover for G.I. Joe 300 and drew 8 million G.I. Joe characters and got himself in the Guinness Book of World Records. But he will have all kinds of fun stuff there. There'll be all kinds of other fun stuff there as well. Always a big G.I. Joe presence at the show. So if you're out west, like Biff McHonky Donk and the like, got to get yourself there. More details are available at PasadenaComicCon.com.
Hey, Rob, what's the fastest way to get there?
I think you go up into the 104 and take the number 5. Right?
Take a Rodeo and go all the way up.
No, we jam.
We'd like to thank Pasadena Comic Con for enabling my segue to my weekly Californians joke.
There you go. I'm right there with you.
You do like that more than anyone should.
Yeah, maybe we need an intro for it.
Or the weekly Californians reference.
I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So
get that transition of like America guitar music going through.
it just starts with dead silence, and I think you should go home, Devin. Go home.
What if I'm just quiet?
What was you quiet?
Oh, good Lord. That brings us to Toy Man. Of course, in St. Louis, Missouri. That is also a week from Sunday. First of 8 shows on the calendar for 2023. This one's going 9 to 2. It is only $5 admission. Early bird will get you in an hour early at $15, and it's worth it if you're really there to spend money, because good Lord, Toy Man is a 2-story building that they just pack full of vendors. It is a fantastic show. If you're anywhere around St. Louis, get yourself to Toy Man. No excuse not to. They do it 8 times. Come on. Brian, you ever made the 10-hour drive from Tulsa to go to Toy Man?
I haven't, but I will. It's highly recommended, and it sounds like my kind of thing. I didn't know about it until I saw it on your show, so I will. That's the kind of thing I would make an excursion for.
See, well, I mean, get St. Louis has other stuff to do, so just plan. Give yourself a full weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. St. Louis, yeah, it's like that's the Paris of the that's I don't know what it is. It's got a big arch.
That's right. It's the last stop of civilization for you folks out west.
Yeah, the arch represents the flyover. It's a visual representation of the flyover.
Get yourself some Emo's pizza.
No, don't do that.
Oh no, don't go there.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it was not.
Emo's is nasty.
It was not that.
However, at 9 o'clock they should stop at Helen's.
Who's Helen?
There was a bar, and it was 2 doors down from the Toys R Us I used to go to when I lived in St. Louis. But it was a bar, and it was this family friendly kind of place, family restaurant type of place, until 9 o'clock hit, and then at which point 9 o'clock would hit, and it would turn into like MILF Island.
Cougar Town.
Yeah, it was Cougar. It was aggressive. It was unsettling.
Okay.
I was there once doing roadie duty for a guy, a friend of mine in a band, and I mean, wow, just yeah, wow.
What's the name of that place again?
Helen Fitzgerald's.
Okay.
There you go. You're
right.
Put that in your weekend.
It's an Irish place.
But I mean, seriously, bring a wingman, because you you need somebody to watch your drink.
And by the way, Marianne, who sent the earlier super chat, that's my girlfriend. So hi, just kidding about going to. In fact, I don't even remember the name of the place. I did not look it up in my phone.
Well, look,
No need
you
to
can
check.
bring Marianne, and she can be the one like spraying like the old timey DDT things that people just stay back.
Genius.
Just go before 9 p.m. and it's a perfectly fine establishment.
Right.
Get yourself a fine basket of fish and chips at Helen.
Friday night fish.
Or any night. It's an Irish pub. So, anyways, hi, Marianne.
Yeah.
You dog. We didn't even know you were dating anybody.
Well, now you know. Now you know.
And
now I know where to take her when we're in St. Louis for the Toy Man show.
Was that a big reveal? Has that been revealed on the net yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
what I mean is, what's on Joe Mind exclusive?
Right.
Before it hits the Inquirer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. The
Inquirer podcasting gossip news.
Yeah.
I know one person who will post it without giving us credit. That's okay. and another guy who will go, this just in, we have heard reports that.
Oh.
So, Toy Man show, you say?
Yes. Where were we?
Off the rails.
8 times a year. 8 times a year. Oh.
Good luck, puppies and kitties.
Jeff Butler says Spearhead might enjoy a Cougar Town bar. I bet he would. Really frightening. Kind of frightening. And we'll add another one to the list this week. It's Toy-Hio on February 11th from 11 to 4. You can see our good friend Pixel Dan. He's from his own popular YouTube channel. He wrote the book on He-Man, My Life with Furry Shorts, I think is the title. No, it's it's more of a definitive guide type of deal. It's kind of like Belomo's book, but for He-Men.
And he girls too.
And I don't know.
I believe the She-Ra figures are in there.
Are they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're.
I don't have a copy of it, right?
I'm sure there were female collectors of He-Man. Maybe
a few.
Look,
we have something of a female audience week to week. Then we got a few fans here, so I don't know.
Pixel Dan went to the Joe Con that was in Springfield, and yet I didn't see him there. And I would have got my picture taken. I think that would have been my ticket to the big time. I could have been a big time YouTuber if I had been associated with Pixel Dan.
Well, I mean, I know Dan. I've hung out with Dan, and it hasn't worked for me. So, anyways, HCC's relationship is now definitive. It is.
It's internet official now. The next step is to get our names tattooed on our butts.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, there you go.
Name tattoos are always
not good. You say
not good.
Okay.
Not good.
Well, I mean, I would have to cross out the other names.
You're supposed to get it.
Throwing some water on that fire. She collected He-Man as a kid,
and then her taste improved because she went G.I. Joe. He-Man. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't.
Did we know Pixel Dan is an indie wrestler as well? Yes, we do. Yeah, he's the Spotlight, Spencer Powers.
His finisher is the Pixelator. It's pretty good.
But he got his start the same time that our buddy Jason Duvall did out on the Indies. And like Pixel Dan, he's got some muscles on him. Like you can see him doing that. But our good buddy Jason Duvall, I would pay money to see that.
Neither of those guys ever wrestled West, did they?
I don't think so, no, because they're Midwestern guys. West probably wasn't traveling out to Central Illinois.
Yeah.
He's an EWA Hall of Famer. Eastern Wrestling Alliance. But that would be a fun dream match. The wrist lock versus the Spotlight Spencer Powers.
Versus Pixel Dan, triple threat.
She's laughing at you, Brian.
Yeah. that happens. That's the basis of our relationship. So
that's all right. I've been in relationships built on less, and they're not happening now. So
I always say, find somebody you can laugh with.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Yeah, or be humble enough to allow somebody to laugh at you, and then
right. So long as they're not laughing at the stuff that hurts your feelings, then it's fine.
Yeah. No, I don't worry about that. Those feelings, I just kind of like push them way down, bottle them up real good. And when they start to come out, I just keep shoving them deeper down in there. I'm sure that everything is totally fine. Anybody hear a ticking sound?
Anybody taste pennies and smell toast?
Hey man, I just gotta say, I think you're selling yourself short. You're a catch, my friend.
No.
They ain't making hooded Cobra Commanders anymore.
No, they're not. That is true.
No, they're not.
That is true.
They have been cleared from the decks.
That's
they broke the mold.
That's it.
Figuratively. That is true. And I get it. I understand. I know. Look, I'm sorry. We're talking about Pixel Dan and Toy Hio, but I do understand why they're not doing the hooded Cobra Commander. I get it. I understand. I may not like it, but I understand. I get it.
It's all right. That's what we got for community calendar. AbsorbVid, I will write you a new theme. Anything to stop that one. Well, community
It's the cries of Joe in the background going, yeah.
I think that's my favorite too. I think that's my favorite part.
The kind of righteous indignation behind the why.
Because I can't help but think while it's happening. She's not wrong.
I can hardly wait till she says that.
I love it. So if you've got something for community calendar, we do have some more stuff on deck. We're just not going to get into, plugging stuff for months on end. So thank you if you've submitted stuff that hasn't made it onto community calendar yet. There are some things out there that are waiting their turn. What's on Joe Mind at gmail.com. That's where you can send all the information you've got on whatever event you want to plug. What's on JoeMind.com.
And if you think you can do a better intro than that, that's also where you send it.
Absolutely. Really, everything goes to what's on JoeMind.com.
Yeah.
Want something for the mailbag? Send it there. We don't get a whole lot of mail call letters anymore.
They used to be a staple.
Right. Then you went and got a job, and that was the end of that.
Forget that.
How dare you provide for your family?
How dare you, sir?
Look, man, I stayed unemployed as long as possible. They finally found me and hired me.
We really had very, very few letters over the last year or so. So if you've got any questions that require a little bit more of a deep dive, send them there too. Mm-hmm. And remember, it is an Ask Us Anything night, so get your questions ready. We're about to get into the news. All proceeds going to the ASPCA. All right. So first news item. Hey, this was all the talk this week, wasn't it? That's right. Some images leaked of the upcoming Python Crimson Guardsman, Rob's favorite figure.
Oh, my.
And we actually, you can see there, it's number 66. It's designed very much like the more recent entries into the classified line with the no windows. It's got the cover art, and then it's got the actual figure pictures on the back. And
so this means like he may be the next one up off the docket.
You would think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be. This is clearly a piece of the production run here, or close to it. And we're pretty confident about this one. It's because of some nice detective work by one of our comrades here on YouTube, the Artist Shark. notice that those circled numbers there, that is F7732, and that matches the numbers that were leaked on that Target invoice last week that everybody, blew their minds over and started fighting one another about. And that is the listing for classified series THR, which is the T is for Target, my guess is Kerouac, and that's him. So great job there. Nice work. Good eyes. Way to put the information together. So, I mean, obviously we can't confirm this. We're not Hasbro, but we can put this right up in the next to confirmed category. Things always are subject to change, but as of right now, that's pretty good. Good job, man.
You can put it right up next to that time we didn't confirm the whole next year's worth of product.
Right. Look, man. Look, man. Look. We take care of those who try to take care of us.
That's it. And to be clear, we didn't break this.
No, not at all.
Found out about it like everybody else. That's why we're giving credit out like it was singles at Fitzgerald's in St. Louis. You get some like Oprah. You get some credit.
And he's got no crimson, damn it. That is not true. It's actually in some trim on his sleeves.
Yeah.
Crimson on the inside.
Right.
He's crimson on the inside where it counts.
Gross. But and yeah, it was our good friends at Surveillance Port, where I saw the photos first. I know they got them from somewhere else, and so on and so forth on down the line. It came out of some Facebook group, so I don't know where these pictures originated. You can see Chaz the Guru on there. I think that's where Surveillance Port got his info, got his pictures from, and then Artist Shark got the numbers together. So good job to everybody involved doing some work this past week as far as getting this figured out and as close to verified as we can get.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I am a whole bunch. Is this the first time in the sealed packaging era that they've included an inset photo of the actual figure on the front? I don't remember if Sarge had that.
Yeah, Sarge is
I believe Sarge did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kamakura. I don't know if he's handy, maybe.
Yeah, I don't have any others right now handy, but like they've got the little.
All I got handy are the ones we're sending off to you.
Ooh, here they come. Love it. Never been so happy for a terrible, brutal chest cut, messed up off center 1 and 4 in my entire life.
Just wait till you see the wear that they try to put on the numbers.
Oh boy. Now I'm going to beat this drum because that's kind of my thing. But I love the artwork on the front of it. That's great. But it does nothing to sell the figure at all.
No.
And they had to know they were headed this way towards sealed packaging, years ago.
Right.
So it only reinforces what I feel is a bad decision to have a rotating cast of different artistic styles trying to make up the photos, well, not the photos, but the killer artwork that's supposed to sell your line.
Right.
Now, it's even more disjointed on shelf now.
Yeah, I mean, I've said before, like if the art's good, then having more real estate for it that's good. But yeah, I mean, the inconsistent art style has always been a puzzle. Now it does let them use art styles that sort of fit the character they're trying to do, and I get that. But yeah, I mean, everything's just kind of not just a little different, but it looks like it's from two totally different toy lines.
Yeah.
I guess like having the window pane. I mean, you can see the toy obviously, but for like a Kamakura doesn't look like it's from the same. The artwork doesn't look like it's from the same toy line as Sergeant Slaughter. So yeah. But I mean, can they course correct? Can they change that at this point, or are they committed to to following this through.
I mean, it's one of my favorite lines from the old TV show Lost, when the door slammed down in the hatch where they were hiding. There was scribblings all over it, and of course, people got a screenshot and tried to decipher it. And there was one I've never forgot that said, "It's a bad plan that can't be changed," and that just feels like what we're dealing with here, right? Like, yeah, it's not optimal, but we can't change it. Why not?
Right.
Like, you're only selling to diehard collectors right now, anyway.
Yeah.
If you didn't scare them off by obscuring the figure entirely, then I think you can probably change the art.
Right.
I will say that, like, at the very least, we get Ron Rudat box art for his tank technician they're going to do. So I like that. I like the idea that they can bring in a guest artist, but they could do that with a consistent art style for the line, and then just like bring in somebody special for a special occasion. They could do that.
Well, even if you just flipped it around to where you had the picture of the figure on the front and the individual art on the back, not only would that give you more of a canvas for the art, but it would give the front a more uniform look too. That's the easy fix, right? But what do I know?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it would let the openers, those two that open their toys, it would give them a chance to compare their possibly badly painted figure to what it should have looked like on the front of the package. Nice big shot, action posed. Yeah.
Right. So once again, congratulations.
Are you able to, the picture of the artwork, are you able to make that bigger at all, or
no?
Okay. The one thing that I am noticing, this does seem to be different. Does this seem to be different? And it's hard for me to tell from the box art on the original Crimson Guard that we just got.
The classified Crimson Guard?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I can take a look. Not quickly, but.
Because the one thing that would seem to be different is, I know on the Python Bat and the Python Viper, it seemed to be the same art, just, redecoed for the figure redeco. But this one, it looks like we've got different art for the redeco, which would be unusual, at least from what we've seen so far.
No, it might actually be the same. I think it is the same art. It's just tiny on the cover of the original
on the previous package. That's what I was wondering, and I can't get a really good look at it right now.
Yeah, I think it's the same. One of them's doing the Cyclops thing with the visor, which, Cyclops is the best. So
you're right. Next news item.
Dude.
Hey, pre-orders are open now for Icon Heroes, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow bobbleheads. They are $35 a piece. They're available at iconheroes.com. I believe they're set up kind of like bookends, which is kind of cool, I guess, if you're into bobbleheads. Mark Webber, are you into bobbleheads?
No, not at all. I mean, I respect the old school 1950s baseball bobbleheads, because they didn't have much back then, right? That was a revolutionary collectible. But no, I'm not into bobbleheads at all. Though I think it is cool that they gave Snake Eyes his iconic 2 different sized swords, and appeared to give Storm Shadow 2 of the same size swords. But whatever.
Brian Lower, how you feel?
Fine, thank you for asking. How are you?
Doing good.
Bobbleheads, $35 each, huh? Well. No, I guess I'll pass on that. I mean, I like it, those classic bobbleheads that Mark mentioned. They're like, I don't know, they're cute little things. These are like, they're almost semi-realistic figures, but with oversized giant heads.
Right.
I don't know. I don't get it. I apologize to Iconic Heroes. But yeah, I just. Not my thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't make them too cartoony, because then the Funko Pop people would get upset. But yeah, there's something about that aesthetic that I just don't like either. And
you don't want to upset the Funko Pop people. The Funko Pop people will come after you. You got to watch out.
Right.
Legion.
couldn't you put the Mego heads on these bodies and they would actually look a lot better? Just saying.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, Storm Shadow's got Armadillo's arms, so there's a limit to.
So we know Armadillo Bobblehead is coming, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's what I would do. You put out Storm Shadow first, because get what sales you can, because you know Armadillo's going to be.
Yeah,
there.
you know, people are just clamoring for Armadillo for the forearms.
Armadillo had such a small molded helmet that I think they're just gonna repaint Storm Shadow's head and just be like, yeah, it's Armadillo-ish. It's COVID Armadillo.
If you're more interested in these than we are, head over to iconheroes.com. You'll see that they are available for pre-order. I believe expected delivery for these is third quarter of this year. So got a little ways to wait on those. Again, just $35 a piece if you're into this sort of ephemera to decorate your shelves.
It's not the worst Joe product we've seen in the last couple months. Nerf Blaster.
That's a pretty low bar, though.
Oh, it's a really low bar.
Pretty low bar.
That bar's just lying on the ground. It may be digging its own hole.
I like that rumor is they canceled it, but they didn't refund anybody's money, and they're just calling it stupid tax.
Well,
they're just going to see if anybody notices.
Or the good taste tax.
And that has to be the kind of collector, the rabid collector with deep pockets who just orders everything. So if something got canceled, they probably won't even notice. They're like, oh, I got Mike sick. I'm sorry about that.
told you not to be talking about that Nerf gun.
Right?
You know what happened to him last time?
Thank God for leftover Chipotle napkins.
I think those are Taco Bell napkins, actually.
Not mine.
All right, you be that way.
First class all the way. Here, let me pull it in. Never mind.
Next news item.
Doot.
I know this is your favorite too, Mark, but the Diamond Select Profit Director Destro Legends in 3 Dimensions bust. That pre-order went up as well. That is a mere $175. Available now at diamondselecttoys.com. I believe that pre-order just went up today. Brian, I saw your hand go up for just a second.
Oh, I was just brushing off $175. Well, that's pocket change.
Shake out the couch.
Well, now we can definitely say that the bobbleheads were not the worst G.I. Joe product we saw this episode.
Yeah. It has the little wrist rockets on the base. That's classy. That is classy.
That's true.
Are they live?
The original had that too, so even that is just a repaint. This is really, yeah. Our feelings on Profit Director Destro on this show are not high. They're not good feelings.
It's a little bit of a checkered history there, and not loved by Arthur Burghardt, the voice of Destro. Not a fan.
No, not at all. Chassis Guru asks the important question: who is buying this?
Right.
Well, we'll find out.
And because Arthur's complaint is that he believes the naming of the character and the painting of the character is racist in his opinion, normally even the sniff of a racist controversy about a product would kill it forever, right? Like, no, because they don't need this. But
we need this. Now, we can't have the hooded Cobra Commander whose hood looks nothing like the other thing, but this we got to have. In fact, we got to have a whole bunch of them. Let's get anything that's Destro. Let's make sure we repaint it as this thing as well.
It's it's such low-hanging repaint fruit that I think I worry that we're going to see this forever.
Right.
Which is a shame.
And it truthfully, even innocently speaking, like take the connotations out of it. It's still just it's the joke that was funny the first time and gets progressively less funny every time it gets told.
Yeah.
And so I just don't understand why it has to be every time. Nobody is that big a fan of Profit Director Destro.
No, you have to be a certain you have to be in the fandom to a certain degree to even know what that's a reference to. Your casual fan's not going to get it. I thought it was a little bit cute when they did it as the classified figure. It's like, oh, it's a little nod to the fans that know what that is. But this is it's getting less cute. This one's not cute. I see nothing cute there except that the wrist rockets on the base. That's classy.
Yeah, I don't like busts in general, right, as a collectible. But this one, structurally, this is a pretty good one. I love the separation of the helmet from the flesh of the chest, which because so many times Destro just looks like, oh, they just started painting the helmet at a certain point. This feels like an actual helmet. I'm digging the construction of this, but we could never see this again, and it would be okay. Like Rob said, who's buying this? Just the people who buy everything. Because I guarantee you there's nobody who passed on the regular Destro bust who is now like, hot damn, now I can order one. No.
Yeah, like I know a couple of guys who are really into Destro. Like that's a character that they collect. And they pass on the profit director stuff.
Yeah. Or they're collectors. Like I bought one of the classified ones because I want one of each classified figure, but I didn't like it. I wasn't happy about it, and I wouldn't have minded at all if they just didn't make it. That'd be fine. Just don't make it.
I do worry. I mean, I'd like to see more and varied licensed product out there, and I do worry that like if too much of this stuff gets out there and bombs, that the license just won't be as attractive, and we'll just see less stuff in general. But yeah, it's I can't like if it were given to me as a birthday gift, I still don't think I would take it. I would this one's that's a tough one. That's $175 too.
I wouldn't even speculate about the overall production numbers, right, of the original Destro bust and this one. But if you had to, you got to imagine they sold 15 or 20 to 1 of the original bust versus what this guy's going to sell. So it's got to be a tiny production run, which means not much cash, which means whatever slice of that gets sent to Hasbro as their licensing cut of this is not friggin' worth it. Just tell them no. Know the brand well enough to tell them no.
Right. Hank Perry says the classified repaint was popular because there were just like 5 or 6 figures available in the line at the time. I would even disagree with that because it was an exclusive. It was priced a little higher, and the first thing I saw happen was that sucker was on sale all the time, and then it was on clearance. So I don't even know how popular that was. Hey, Biff McHonky Donk's here. He's just dropping by real quick because he thinks he can escape us.
He's still go clean up your proton pack.
Phil.
Yeah. We love Phil.
He's just checking in between rides on Space Mountain.
That's it, right? He's in line waiting. So
woo! Okay. That's Brian got the gag. Next news item.
Ado.
Hey,
oh, what's this guy doing
again?
Hey, it's a male stripper.
Telling us things that we already knew. Earlier this week, an interview in Variety magazine made the rounds, and it was with Channing Tatum, and he hated G.I. Joe so much. I'm reading the Variety headline verbatim. Channing Tatum hated G.I. Joe so much he tried to turn it down 7 times, asked to be killed off in the sequel. I obviously didn't want to do it.
Then why'd he do it?
Right. Well, to quote the article, Channing Tatum has already got on record saying he hated starring in G.I. Joe's or 2009's G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. So it's not too surprising to hear the actor's most recent revelation that he tried to avoid acting in the movie almost a dozen times. Participating in a lie detector test for Vanity Fair, Tatum said he tried passing on The Rise of Cobra 7 times, but was forced to star in the Paramount tentpole. They had an option on me, and I had to do the movie, Tatum said. So the second one, I obviously just didn't want to do that one either. Tatum confirmed he asked to be killed off in the first 10 minutes of the sequel, 2013's G.I. Joe Retaliation, to avoid any further commitment to the franchise. Did you regret that decision? No, he said bluntly. Look, I'll be honest. I fucking hate that movie. I hate that movie, Tatum previously told Howard Stern about the first G.I. Joe film. I was pushed into doing it. From Coach Carter, they signed me to a 3-picture deal. They give you the contract and they go 3-picture deal. Here you go. And as a young actor, you're like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. I'm doing that. Time goes by and you get other jobs and you're building your quote and you have a dream job you want to do. And the studio calls up and they're like, hey, we got a movie for you. We're going to send it to you. And they send it to you and it's G.I. Joe. Tatum continued, and I love G.I. Joe. Can I play Snake Eyes? And they're like, no, you're not playing Snake Eyes. You're playing G.I. Joe. The script wasn't any good, and I didn't want to do something that I was a fan of since I was a kid and watched every morning growing up, and didn't want to do something that was, 1, bad, and 2, I just didn't know if I wanted to be G.I. Joe. So, okay, there's a root, there's a kernel of something understandable in there.
Yeah.
He's admitting that he's a fan, at least casually, or a lapsed fan, and didn't want to do something that was bad, but my problem with it isn't even so much that he hated it, because let's face it, Rise of Cobra was not the most intelligent piece of work we've ever seen on film. But my problem with it was when that movie was out, when the press junket was being done, he was already making fun of it. Like, he was already putting it down. You can't do that. Like, it's one thing if you're the star or something, but those movies, there's lots of people that work a regular living wage that need that movie to be successful, to earn bonuses and to get their next job, and they don't make millions of dollars each picture. So that's been my problem with Channing Tatum and the G.I. Joe franchise from the beginning, is that he was out there slagging it while it was active in theaters, and that's the sign of a pretty low class individual. So I don't know why this had to come up again, but it caused a big kerfuffle in the G.I. Joe community, so I figured we'd touch base on it here.
I think it's disingenuous to say I was a big fan of the G.I. Joe cartoon and I didn't want to play G.I. Joe. Did you even read the script, brother? Because G.I. Joe isn't a person unless you're actually making it Joe Colton,
right?
Which they weren't. So
again, that script may have been an earlier script. We don't know. We don't know the specifics on it.
Whoever talked to him from Paramount may have just not understood. Like, for all they know, the G.I. Joe was the guy. His name probably is Joe. I don't know.
It would be
I'm just shocked that somebody's still interviewing Channing Tatum. That's the surprise of the evening.
Is it time for Magic Mike 4? I mean,
he had that one Netflix movie with Sandra Bullock that was okay.
I missed that one.
Yeah. Anyways, regardless, no giant loss here on our part, and that's why I put his little word bubble in Comic Sans. But this all came up this week, so figured we needed to address it for at least a minute in the news.
Nah.
Well, we just did, so don't say nah.
Nah.
Let's not address it. In fact, let's not say anything about it.
Next news item.
Hey,
it's a time for your weekly reminder. The Kickstarter for the Total Action Force, the Battle Years softcover. It's coming. It's word is end of the month. So head over to Kickstarter, type in Total Action Force. This will come up in the search for you. Click that green button so that you are notified when this project gets off the ground. If you missed the hardcover, okay, we get it. We tried to warn you then too, but obviously you didn't listen to us. So at least do yourself a favor, get on the soft cover. This book is incredible, full of great action shots put together with real effects by Brian Hickey. The words by our good pal Patty Lennon, also just majestic. They flow off the page. Can't do better than this for a G.I. Joe themed coffee table book, chock full of great information about G.I. Joe in the UK.
And if you have a soft cover, head to kygijoe.com.
Don't be doing that, Mark. Come on now. We're trying to sell real product here.
It's set up. Look at this. Jeff Butler gets it.
He knows. Look, everybody really knows. But anyways, so head over to Kickstarter. Total Action Force. Click the green button. Get on board. I'm tired of showing this book to people that don't have it. Rack time, Rob.
I'll just take yours.
That's cool.
See, got nothing for that.
And of course, no, that's just I'll punch you, and I don't want to say that on the show.
What if he's just quiet?
So, anyways, it's just a reminder that Kokomo Toys is proud to bring you What's on Joe Mind and the news, and Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler Tank. And so we're going to take a minute and hear a word from our wonderful, illustrious sponsors right now.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
Now back to What's on Your Mind.
All right. So we have returned. It is time now where we are taking your questions. You want to get to the front of the line. Remember, Super Chat is open tonight. All proceeds that we collect are going to the ASPCA. We are matching the first $50. So start getting those donations in earnest. We've had a few of them. Not too much, mind you. So
line them up.
We're helping the little kitties. We're helping the little puppies.
They're all going to get their own Mieler tanks.
Ooh.
Right.
We should auction off.
What was it? Dak the Nomad tonight pointed out on Twitter to me. There is an entire account called. Let me find it here. Where to go?
Vertigo.
This is gripping television.
It is.
Yeah, while we're waiting on that, let me just say how much I hated being on What's on Joe Mind. I was a big fan of the show, back when that skinny guy was on it, but tried to get out of it. They contractual obligations, but man, that sucked.
We never had skinny guys on this show.
Whatever, Channing. You sit down and you like it.
Giant Military Cats is the name of the Twitter account. It is @GiantCat9. There was a different picture of a cat in a tank today. So I was like, that's an instant follow. I have to be on board that one.
We still have Lower signed to an 8 appearance deal, right?
Yeah.
We still got a couple in the pocket that we can spring anytime. So
Phil Donnelly adds that What's on Joe Mind has really gone downhill since they let me on. I agree.
we get that email a lot.
Yeah, like usually the episodes Phil is on, we struggle to break 200 views. So it's
poor Phil.
Phil's a man.
He's not going to want to come on the show anymore.
I know, right? Phil is our guy. Like when we're hard up, when we have a last minute cancellation that we got to fill in. Well, pardon the pun, but Phil is the guy we call. And so yeah, it's we feel bad for Phil.
Fill in Phil.
Joe Fan 84, he understands. What's the point of being skinny when there's so much good food out there? Agreed.
Yeah.
Ed the Straight Edge with a $20 donation. Ooh. Thank you, sir. Stream of Consciousness ask, who would you guys cast as Duke? Brian Lower, you're our guest.
Gosh, who would I cast as Duke? Who's a really good actor? Because it could be anybody. We're not thinking like realistic. It could be a dream actor, somebody really good, somebody who would somebody famous too, who would like put butts in the seats. Glenn Close. That's my.
Ooh.
I mean, she can do anything.
Yeah,
well, she's not going to be ignored.
No. Look, hey, you put out a G.I. Joe movie starring Glenn Close as Duke, and the headlines. That people will, just out of curiosity, will go and see it.
I hear she boils a mean rabbit out in the field.
That's right.
I mean, if I had to pick Diana Davis, knocked it down right there. Chris Hemsworth would be the guy I'd put in there.
Well, sure, if you're going to go with a conventional pick, I suppose that, yeah.
I think that would be a good, right and proper Duke, especially now that he's a little older. Now that he's in his late 30s, because that's where I put Duke in my head. Like Duke as the young guy doesn't necessarily work for me. My view of the character is colored by how it was presented on the old action figure file card and by Hama in the comic.
Yeah, it would attain a rank of Master Sergeant.
Right. Like that takes some time. So Duke as the young go-getter doesn't work so much as Duke the grizzled vet who is still youthful, kind of like Duke should be around 40. right?
I think that the temptation is to make him a younger character, somebody young, hip, and that'll appeal to the young cats out there. But that's just not Duke.
Right.
I mean,
that's what you got Flint for.
In any franchise or prospective franchise, you want to cast young, right? So you can have them for a while. So it isn't Roger Moore's James Bond at the end, right? So
right. But real quick, get your picks in because we're backing up on Super Chat.
Chris Evans.
Oh, good pick. Good pick. Rack time, Rob.
Good.
Yeah, I think I'd have gone Evans too.
That's a good pick.
Or Pratt or Pine. Any of the Chris's.
Any of the many Chris's.
Yeah, not
White Vegeta asks, how much would you pay for Special Mission Brazil set envisioned in an Amazon 5-pack? I'm going to assume you mean classified. So, Brian, well, you're our guest again. Why don't we hit you first? What would you pay for a 5-pack of classified Special Mission Brazil?
$100 million. It would be a 5-pack. That would be really expensive, but could be worth it if it comes with the cassette tape. What would that be? Like $150 or something like that for a Special Mission Brazil 5-pack? They'll put those out first, and then they'll issue the regular colors of all those characters, somewhere down the line. That'll be the Target exclusive.
But they won't issue another Claymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But they'll just make him out of other parts anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I'd shell out 120 for that. I mean, provided it came with some extra stuff that maybe the regular ones didn't have. I understand the figures are going to be mostly just repaints, but if you give them some deluxe weapons or something, or some machine gun nest turret kind of things, or something along those lines. I could see 120.
Used to be multi-packs gave you a slight discount.
Yeah, I know. But if you're going to have an original character, that's going to knock that out. And then if you're going to throw some extra stuff in as kind of a bait, then yeah, I could see. I wouldn't go too far past that. Like, I'm not shelling out $180 for it. I'm not going huge on it.
Well, and think about it now. Some people who are complaining about the closed box, like a closed box 5-pack wouldn't even be that big. Because you could pack them out inside, basically chest to back almost.
Right.
Wouldn't even be that big. And that's actually, the closed box thing might be really good for vehicles. Because think about it. They don't even have to assemble them fully anymore.
Right.
So maybe
Worked
that
back in
opens
the
the
day.
door. Yeah.
Rack time, Rob, real quick, how much?
I think the Legends are going to like about $125. So,
Yeah, somewhere in there.
It's fine.
Sean Russell says donations tonight help Chonky Tank Yiddy fill his ranks. Yes, they do. Thank you, everybody who has donated so far and hasn't donated yet. Doug Dello, what is the over-under until we get a G.I. Joe stream on Pulse? So I guess that's give us a date on when the first G.I. Joe Friday will be. Mark Weber.
Oh, I thought you meant TeamStream on Pulse, which I think is unlikely. Just given,
any number of factors. Yes. Any number of factors.
Yeah, I don't know. Pass. How's that?
I think we're going to get one next month.
Without getting too far into it and not bemoaning any of the people involved, those are hard for me to watch. So, yeah.
I that's understandable coming from what your experience. I understand.
Yeah.
But I think we'll get one next month. I think the fact that this Crimson Guard image leaked and there's been some detective work on it, I think that's going to scramble the jets, so to speak. So I would expect one somewhere in the next 4 or 5 weeks. You guys agree?
I think that's about right. I mean, the pre-sales for the last wave they had up for pre-order, they're supposed to come due, I think, April 1st. So
yeah. Sean Russell says Gene Hackman for Cobra Commander. No, he's retired.
That was
now if it's Dreamcasting, maybe, but
yeah.
Danjamin 905 from Canada, from Canada. Great show. I'm a Cats fan. It's been a tough few years. Oh well. Or I'm Cats. I don't know what that is.
The musical, the animal.
Yeah, it's got to be like it was. I think that movie
If
came
it's
out
musical,
last year though, so
yeah. If it's the musical, it has been a rough couple of years.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That movie didn't age well, and it just came out.
Yeah.
They got CGI buttholes, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
And if you're into CGI, go to
No.
fine. I self-funded it. That's cool. Well, they're not kicking us off YouTube for that.
Oh, we don't want to. We don't want to send people to kygijoe.com for, like, again, they are trying to do a show. We don't want to bag them too hard.
Ed the Straight Edge has got a great point. I'm just saying.
He's had a couple tonight, so
Not just the Gary Oldman bit, but
oh, there we go. Gary Oldman has been on fan lists since the late '90s. Catherine Bell as Lady J unfortunately doesn't get on lists anymore. No, I mean,
not
really,
anymore.
has anybody seen Catherine Bell for a few years?
But in her prime,
Hallmark.
Hey, cover your ears, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, cover your ears. Catherine Bell was hotter than a blowtorch in a microwave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just saying.
Yeah, that would have been perfect casting, frankly. That would have been.
You too can help the ASPCA get dogs off my shoulder. Hello, Emma.
This is what you're donating for right there.
Yeah.
That's it. Help the dogs.
Emma the Wonder Pup.
They keep us safe from the killer mailmen every day.
And sometimes the regular mailmen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And
Not just the killer ones.
And the cat who could protect us with his double Wolverine claws is just like, mailman, woke me up. Going
Whatever,
back to
bub.
sleep.
I mean, mailman might be on his side. So he might be on the mailman's side.
Maybe.
So, again, remember, donations going to ASPCA tonight on the Super Chat. It is open. We are answering any question you might have related to G.I. Joe, or even if they're not too terribly intrusive into other parts of our lives as well. Ladies, we are taking all questions on Rack Time Rob.
Ooh.
Ladies.
Right. HCC off the market. Sorry, ladies. Had your chance.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want to ask for my Sergeant Slaughter story, I'll tell it again. You just gotta pay.
Oh my God.
I gotta let that one rest a while.
Yeah, right. Sure. If somebody's paying for it, if somebody's making a donation for the Sergeant Slaughter story.
So
yes.
Good.
Yes, but we've heard it several times.
Yeah. Gets better every time. Like a fine wine.
Like a fine iodine.
GoFan84 has no super chat, but we'll answer his question anyway to fill time. Brian, we've probably talked about everybody else's. Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite?
Stalker, always Stalker.
Okay.
Yeah. Ever since I read the early comics, he just stood out. Plus, before I read the comics, when I first got that action figure back in '82, that camouflage was just the coolest thing ever. So, still a big fan of Stalker.
It's funny that a character that iconic and that ingrained in the brand could still be considered underrated. He is so many people's number one favorite guy.
Larry obviously really loved the character and put a lot into it. So, it's there are a few characters more important to the line, but he's up there.
I loved it in one of the first comics when they're in the pyramid or whatever, when the knives come, the big spiky javelins come out of the wall, and all Stalker says is, "Dag, snagged my beret." Like, just another day at work.
He's unflappable.
Yeah.
Right. Matt Rubin says Marianne got the most eligible bachelor from the G.I. Joe fandom, which I say, I don't even know her.
No, look. What's wait? You're Mike's seeing Marianne too. Look here, buddy.
I don't. I've never met her.
Okay.
Don't point.
Never mind. I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
Dangerman is back. Thank you, sir. What Neon Joe do you actually like? Here's a question. Here, why don't we ask the guy who does the reviews?
Oh, let me think about this. I do the rounds. I got to think about this because there's got to be one. I know there is one. I know there is one.
We throw it to the review guy, and he gives us a pass.
Yeah, well, I'm passing. I'm delaying. This is a delaying tactic.
Rob, you hate everything after 1988, and that's not just a GI Joe statement. That's a societal statement. What's your call here?
And I'm the one who will often defend 90s comics, but
Ugh.
A lot of pouches.
depending on the comic. For me, I would have to say, I mean, sad to guess, it's going to be from '86. It's going to be sci-fi.
Oh my God, Mark.
If you can go retro, does Airtight count?
No.
Oh, he's not neon enough.
No, he's not neon at all.
Airtight,
he's primary, but he's not neon.
Fine. I actually dug the sculpt of Ice Cream Soldier. And it wasn't the name that threw me. It was the fact that he couldn't hold any of his own friggin' weapons. Right. That kind of pissed me off. But when they redid him as, I think, a shock trooper or something later as a bad guy.
Shock Viper, I think.
I was all over that. I got a bunch of them. So, yeah, I'll go with Ice Cream Soldier. Cool looking thing.
There were any number of really good sculpts later in the line that just were not done any favors by the colors that were selected for them. Phil Donnelly throws out that Mail Order Hawk is pretty neon and pretty awesome. That's a pretty good one. I'm kind of in the same page of the great sculpt bad colors book. The 94 Viper is a winner. If you're just looking for a great bad guy looking dude, but he's purple and orange, so it's kind of a half-like. All right, Brian. All right,
I got it. Mega Marines Gung Ho. It's quite bright.
Oh yeah.
But really good sculpt. Very much that like Colonial Marines futuristic armor stuff. I mean, without the Play-Doh armor, right. Leave that off.
The base figure.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, no, I thought that one was all right. I almost went with Clean Sweep. Because that figure amuses me. But no, I feel good about that. Mega Marines Gung Ho. There we go.
That vehicle from the Mega Marines is actually not bad.
Oh yeah, that's actually one of the better vehicles of the era.
Jeff Butler's got a good one there. 92 Wetsuit's a good design. Yes, it is.
I got to give a shout out to Long Arm because he looks like Deep Six's little brother with that ridiculous helmet and the bright orange. That guy's rough.
So again, we are super chats are open, super thanks are open, whatever. All donations tonight, everything that Google sends to us, we are sending off to the ASPCA. So please, if you ever had a moment where you had a couple of bucks laying around, thinking, "Hey, what am I? Maybe I'd send this to What's on Joe Mind." We're going to send it off to people that have far better things to do with that money. Joe Fan 84 says, I liked some 90s stuff. I was born in 84, so 89 and up is what I got. Sorry. I liked Eco Warriors Flint back then. He was all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that Battle Core Flint was a little bit better. The one with the desert gear.
Yeah. Well,
that was a better figure.
Like that.
Desert Paratrooper Flint? Who can only parachute into deserts?
Correct.
Right. No, I won't go out there.
There's trees.
Too much water.
Jeff Butler taking advantage of the lack of donations. What are the odds of a classified figure of Red Star since he's from the Ukraine? Well, I wouldn't say that they're good because Lord knows Hasbro not big on engaging on even remotely political topics in regards to their toys. I wouldn't say that they were high.
It's not a bad thought at all, though.
Most people are going to look at that figure and go, "Oh, Russian," because October Guard. Even though
politically motivated company might do it with proceeds sent
Yeah.
for Ukrainian relief, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's not a terrible idea, but yeah, they seem to have shied away from even the mildest of political positions or statements. So
I mean, let's face it, they didn't make any October Guard figures until after the Soviet Union broke up. So I mean,
Yeah, it's not a new sentiment. So I
Yeah.
mean, apologies to the folks there. Now we understand.
yeah, if they, I mean, I completely give them a pass on not wanting to do that. So I mean, it's just
But at the same time, what are they like? That's going to make them hate us more.
I always wondered if the October Guard was also part of if licensing wise it was difficult. Because remember those characters that were unique to the comic that were big deals, like Quinn and
Yeah.
I hate to say it, Billy and Dr. Venom. They didn't go anywhere near those guys.
I've always wondered that too. They did the Baroness, and the Baroness did first appear in the comic book, but like, yeah, like you would expect to
references to General Flag, but
yeah. And Quinn was killed off, but the October Guard stuck around for quite a while. And we got figures that were sort of like the comic book, but characters, but not exactly. We never got a horror show, But I have a hard time believing that Hasbro doesn't have 100% rights to those characters. I would assume that that was in the agreement with Marvel at the time, but there's no denying that they seem to have, for a long time at least, shied away from making those figures.
Yeah, and they were and that comic was a juggernaut too, right? It was even with Sunbow, it was the biggest marketing thing they had.
yeah.
And some of those characters were fantastic, and they were churning out 20 new figs a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't item count, that's for sure.
Joe Fan 84 wants us to know that his favorite was the Duke that had the spring-loaded cannon that he sat on.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't exactly a neon figure, but he did have spaghetti sauce all over his uniform.
Yeah, some of those launchers were wild. I especially like the one with Mace that attached to his helmet.
That's great. And if you're sitting on a spring-loaded cannon, head over.
Ed the Straight Edge with another $20. Good Lord, man. Thank you. What's everyone's thoughts on this Joe's 60th anniversary next year? 12-inch characters in classified form, and that's a great idea.
That would be a good idea.
I don't think they're going to do that, but I do think it's a fantastic idea. Mark, you're the former Hasbro guy. What would you do if you were laying out a 60th anniversary based on what's out there and what's available?
I mean, it's more realistic to expect them to honor the 12-inch line in what they're currently making now. So 12-inch big as 6-inch big. Maybe that's when Joe Colton comes out. And I mean that as the bearded type, not the Hawaiian escaped GI or What's on Joe Mind host. Yes. But I think that's more likely. I'd love to see them do just one 12-inch Joe. But that sounds simple, like they'll just do one, but they haven't done one in so long. Who knows what tooling is available?
Right.
I don't know. They would put that much R&D into a one-off that might just be a Pulse exclusive. So it would definitely be cheaper and funnel more into what they're actually pushing right now to do GI Joe Colton as a classified big to honor the 60th anniversary.
Never say never, though.
Ooh. That's an Aquaman. He's got a hook for a hand.
Well, he's
got oven mitts for hands.
That's just good. I think that's a good call, Mark. If you could do a Joe Colton, have it be a deluxe figure, give him a couple different sets of hands, maybe even a couple different heads.
Kung Fu grip.
Good bunch of weapons.
Classified Bullet Man.
Right? Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Hey, I'm beginning to think maybe I can do this job. Not this job. The other job.
Because Lord knows we're still waiting for you to do this job.
Right? It's coming along slow.
As I bash the guy who gives us respectability.
I don't know about that.
We're gonna get we'll get Joel in here because I don't think the computer accepts his evil Australian credit cards. Speaking of politics, what did you think of Larry Hama parallel or real life conflicts in the comics? I mean, I don't think you can disassociate G.I. Joe from real life events in a realistic book. I guess one thing on the Sunbow cartoon, because it's a cartoon. It's a little bit more science fiction-y. It's a little bit more adventure. But if you're gonna ground G.I. Joe as a real world style war book, albeit with more of a supervillain element to it, but still, if you're gonna ground it in something close to our reality, I don't think you can ever take it out. I think no matter what sort of good and evil you throw out there, there's going to be parallels with something going on in the real world, either currently or in the past, right? Like, yeah. So I don't think it ever bothered me. I don't think it was ever particularly hard to connect the dots, even. But Larry, I think he kept the lines as far as who we were supposed to root for as clear as he could. But made sure to understand that the people who were not rooting for did have their reasons, right? Like
he set such a high bar for military comics, and you know why? No big surprise. He is a soldier, right? He did this, so yeah, it does kind of the whole thing kind of parallels real life.
I always dug stuff that basically made me want to go read something else to find out more about it.
It's stuff like that kept it from just being a monthly advertisement for the toys, which it very well easily could have been.
Yeah.
With a lesser writer, how many other toy comics were just that and lasted 4 issues? So those kind of things are what elevate it. Yeah, it elevates it above, just a toy catalog with word balloons on it.
Right. And then the question, of course, what comic doesn't parallel real life in one way or another? Well, I mean, good question there. They've always been the good ones have always reflected a bit of life back at us. So that's why they stuck. It's why they're considered good literature. I mean, yeah. Let's see. I'm behind on the chat bar, so bear with me just a moment. Viper Scout says he is still looking for Sierra Gordo on a map.
Yeah, it's next
Remember,
to
capital city, Rio Lindo.
It's next to Barovia. Or Walking Cookland, as I recall.
Jeff Butler says, I'm in junior high when I realized that there's no country called Barovia.
There you go.
Well, I thought it took a vacation there.
Let's not forget Churchill Bismuth.
What do you guys think the classified trouble bubble will look like, and how big will it be? Well, it'll look like the trouble bubble. And how big will it be? I mean, big enough to hold a figure, I guess.
I'm thinking, I don't know. It might be, in the neighborhood of Air Chariot size.
I don't think it'll be quite that big.
Maybe a little smaller, but
it
might have that height,
With the dome, I'm going to say softball size. Not a softball.
Yeah.
You got to fit it classified inside that dome.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be that tall. I don't know if it'll be that wide, but
maybe not.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a trouble bubble that got sleeked up with modern technology a little bit to keep the size down.
It won't come with that flying mine. I guarantee you that.
Boo! Come on now.
I don't want it then.
That thing was kind of worthless. I mean,
it was absolutely worthless, but but it was still like the only time I ever used
you put it in the seat.
Right.
Here's a drone.
Right.
Ooh.
So, how about them Knicks?
Right. Oh, they're still bad. Tune in next decade.
Mediocre. They've
How about
climbed to
your
mediocre.
How about your Giants? Hey, I saw a good picture today of the Cowboys kicker with Lucy moving the football.
Oh yeah. Mike sent that to me a couple days ago.
Love it.
I was
love it.
showing people at work because I was like, I'm not offending anyone with this. Everybody laughed.
Matt Rubin asks, would anyone like to see a classified version of Recoil?
Sure.
I love
Go
it.
figure.
Why not?
And Mike and I disagree on this. Give him a real helmet, not the Devo hat.
Nope. Devo hat.
Can't have the Devo hat.
Devo
least
hat
give
or
him, like,
GTFO.
An alternate helmet
Yeah.
as the Devo hat. Let him sometimes wear the Devo hat.
I don't mind if you get both, but I love realistic military, other than his bright blue weaponry.
What was up with that pistol that had another pistol?
Yeah,
underneath
it's
it
like
going?
the up and down thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was called the Peacemaker. Let me tell you.
That was somebody let their kid design a weapon. That's what that was.
So much of him was like, I saw that guy and I was like, yeah, I love the realistic military. I'm like, how come he's got a bright blue 3-foot tall double pistol to go with his Devo hat?
He's just such a great soldier that he thought it was only fair to give the enemy a little bit of a chance by spray painting all of his weaponry, bright powder blue.
The funny thing was the other weapon he came with was an M16 with a grenade launcher underneath.
Yeah,
It's very, very current military, and then
bright blue. Now, if you want to get that
Romulan disruptor there,
if you want to get that in a more realistic color, just pick yourself up one of those gold head steel brigades. Comes with one of those. So.
Pop it out.
Yeah.
Easy as pie.
Yeah.
This guy says hi all. Well, hi OG Hedda, aka Digital Diarrhea.
Well, hi.
That's a complicated name.
A little petrified there, but okay. Welcome to the show.
Right.
A lot of names you can pick from.
Right. Any number. But Joe Fan 84 says Collectors Club Recoil looks all right. See, I disagree because it doesn't have the Devo hat.
That actually came out all right.
Devo.
That one. I need that one.
They gave him the disruptor.
Anybody out there wants to trade for a Billy? I have a Billy.
Yeah. Nobody wants a Billy.
It's as good a use. Gary did. It's as good a use of Lifeline for repaint as you could come up with, really. But I want Demented Killer Cub Scout Billy. That's the Billy figure I want. I want eye patch Cub Scout Billy.
The bouquet of roses with the 357 in it.
Right. I don't want Cyborg Ninja Billy. That just seems like a cop out.
Robot leg backflip Billy.
Cobra Scout Billy.
McDowell says, I'm here and I'm late. We will start over for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Just take it from the top.
Welcome to the show.
Hey.
That is not happening. But Phil Donnelly, classified mangler complete with bullet holes.
That is funny. That is morbid, but that is funny.
He can come in a 2-pack with Cool Breeze.
That's it.
Right. This Cool Breeze and his weird robot hand. What do you guys think of Eagle Force making figures that can work as G.I. Joe stand-ins? Example, scarred Snake Eyes in dress uniform.
Go for it.
Yeah, right. I am all about the third-party folks making stuff to stand in for the things that Hasbro doesn't think they can pull enough numbers on. If the fans will find them.
And I haven't dove deep on Eagle Force, but a couple of their dress uniform figs are pretty slick. So right. They got me on a couple of them.
Right, they've dropped more than a few subtle Red Shadow stand-ins there too for figures in that scale. So that's not a bad thing.
speaking of, total sidebar, I wasn't going to buy the Super 7 Mutt reaction figure until I took a better look at Junkyard, the dog. The dog's great. So I bought a $20 figure for the dog edition, who will, I don't know if he'll replace, but he'll definitely get some consideration.
Spoken like a true lazy bastard customizer.
That's it. I'm upgrading just like that. Only costs $20.
I mean, 84 Junkyard will probably run you $20 at this point, so why not?
And
then you get the same dog.
No offense, but 84 Junkyard's pretty weak.
Yeah, he's not a highlight.
He's not as bad as that gray pig that came with snake eyes, but
I think he's a boar. I don't know about
could be. Yeah, he's a javelina.
Ed the Straight Edge is back again. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your generosity tonight. What the hell was that? That was me restarting the show for McDowell.
Yeah.
Said he was late. We said we'd restart for him.
Hey, he probably missed our new community calendar intro.
It was our little cut in for Worker and Parasite.
Right. You know what? I'm not going to play that again because he needs to just go back and catch the replay. That's I'm going to leave that out there. That's something that needs to just exist in its moment there. I don't want to drown us out on that one. Sir Nightheart with a donation. Thank you, sir. Do you guys think that G.I. Joe would work in the 3-inch scale like Star Wars Mission Fleet and Indiana Jones Worlds of Adventure as for toys for kids? Abso-damn-lutely it would. G.I. Joe figures are interesting enough visually that they don't really need guns, do they? Like, if that's the concern, you don't want to give guns to the kids with small children's toys. You don't have to have them necessarily.
But you know what? The plane on that Indiana Jones thing had a machine gun turret and stuff like that.
Right. But I mean,
put on the vehicles, yeah.
The cartoony action type stuff, fine. Whatever. But yeah, sure. I think it would work great in that scale and in that iteration and in that aesthetic. Yeah, no, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, if you give them goofy looking laser guns, who cares?
You'll be even better. Make them 2.5 inch, said the Sigma 6 brand manager. The fans will eat it up. Hey, I've been reading online on this new thing called the internet that they don't like. Some Joe fans want them smaller. Yes, they do. It'll be all new tooling, but it'll be a big hit.
My budget for chunky kitties that don't have tanks of their own was $50, but I didn't have a third question. Well, we appreciate it.
Oh, there you go.
All the
No
same.
worries. We doubled that 50.
That's right.
On Ed's own. So thank you very much.
That's right. We've doubled Ed's donations, and then everybody else is on top of that is gravy. So we're well past $100 now. But yeah, I think you could play the hits, so to speak, in the 3-inch scale. You could Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and Cobra Commander and Duke and Scarlet Baroness. Those characters would all play in that scale. I think they'd come off very well.
I'd like to, since we restarted the show for him, I'd like to point out McDowell's latest post because it might be the best post of all time.
Yeah. I try my best to run a full replay twice a week of your guys' analytics.
Yes.
He knows
That's
how to play
a true
the game.
fan.
That's our guy.
That guy is doing it right.
That's better than I do some weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I sit there and on my own personal YouTube account, I'm not saying that I just pull up our playlist and pick a spot and start it and just let it run all night.
He's there with a legal pad. He sends us notes once a week.
Yeah.
Tighten up, damn it. More blather.
Mr. Neidhart agrees for what it's worth. I think that scale and price point is perfect for kids. I don't see kids buying $25 action figures. Yeah. It's not about buying them. It's about what adults are willing to spend on kids' toys, right? Like if you're giving a toy meant for a kid that's 6-7 years old, you're just going to assume either it's going to break or they're going to lose parts. And adults don't want to spend that money on a kid's toy that's going to a kid, right? So absolutely it would work.
Anything that is meant to be kid focused, the first question outside of the toy is, what's the digital component? Has to have it. And that can just be a good app or a webcomic or whatever. But
right,
what's the entertainment? What's the digital portion?
Or perhaps
has to have it.
Perhaps a website that's updated more than once every 24 months.
Yeah. That has the spelling errors that I said to the people in charge of the brand at the time corrected. They were not real receptive.
No, I don't imagine so.
All new people now, though.
But Firefly, this will be the last one we take from the crowd tonight. Do you guys think that Hasbro is just waiting for a sub-licensee to make G.I. Joe for children instead?
Well, they're not Marvel.
No, I don't think so. I think they're afraid a little bit of the military aspect of G.I. Joe. I think they're inserting politics that don't necessarily exist into the line, and that's coloring their attempts to market it to children.
That has always been a misconception up the food chain at Hasbro, is that
right.
G.I. Joe is always about war. Sometimes it's about war. G.I. Joe, and then the drum I beat while I was there is that G.I. Joe is not about war. G.I. Joe is about courage.
Right.
And it didn't get very far.
Right. I mean, you can take all of the good reasons that people become soldiers. You just that they all play into G.I. Joe. These are the best of the best. These are, the absolute sterling examples of young men and women serving their country, and they, yes, the military has its warts. Okay, I'm not saying that they need to be whitewashed. I'm just saying that you don't necessarily need to focus on that on a kid-focused line.
Bobby Valla and I co-pitched a 6-inch G.I. Joe line to launch with the third movie and survive beyond it. And the second we said survive beyond it, the biggest muckety muck in the room started shaking her head no. Didn't even let us finish our sentence. And the irony that she's gone, and the reverse actually happened. The 6-inch line launched without a movie and survived the bad movie. I hope that's not lost on anybody.
Yeah. Diana says, I remember question came up at a JoeCon a long time ago, and Daryl said they just didn't think it was a good fit. And I'm sure Daryl was referring to his bosses, and his bosses were wrong then. But all right, moving forward, let's go ahead and roll into what we got in.
Woohoo!
Brian, you're our guest. What'd you get in?
I got stuff in.
You got a girlfriend, man.
From a viewer, from a fan, I got
Let me get
classified.
You the big window here. Hang on.
There it is.
There we are.
Classified Stuart Outback Selkirk, Tiger Force. I often ponder what this Tiger Force, these Tiger Force colors are camouflaged for, but it just hit me. He is camouflaged. He's wearing the perfect camouflage for Cincinnati Bengals game.
That's right.
That's it. That's the environment that he can fight in.
They're camouflaged for picking off leafers in New England in the autumn.
Somebody pointed out this week, if they'd have put that Tiger logo lower, you could have actually used the brutal chest cut to open the jaw.
Oh, nice.
Make it functional. Absolutely.
Because it's not totally accurate to the original anyway.
No, it's not. So,
Which
customizers
for the best.
Customizers, get on it. And I found the Crimson Twins here. I can not have the glare on them, but yes, I found Tomax and Zaymot, both of them. So
excellent.
Yeah. And I did get some vintage stuff in, but both of them are for upcoming reviews. So, and I don't want to spoil it, so I can't really say. But that's the non-vintage stuff that I got.
You be that way then, mister.
I did polls. Like I was like, I want to like do some early promotion for what's coming up, and I put multiple polls up, and people said no. We want to be surprised. No spoilers. So
I agree. I'm with that. I did not take part in the polls, but I agree with their findings.
yeah. So no spoilers.
Fair enough. You can't just put like a fake mustache on it and say, this is Mr. Scrub. Anyways.
New character on the show, Mr. Scrub.
Everything comes back to The Simpsons eventually.
Dr. Bendminder.
Dr. Bendminder. I'm going to, realize I'm probably going to say that every time from now on. Okay. Rack time, Rob. What'd you get in?
All righty. I don't remember if I did these last week or not, but
whatever.
Look. Ooh, Python Patrol.
Dub.
Which I said I was never going to buy, and yeah, there they go, because I'm weak and sad.
Jerk.
Not
and just
sad
to
anymore.
re-emphasize my weak and sadness. Vroom, vroom.
There you go.
And then, because somebody out there knows exactly what buttons they need to push for me.
I got Migos.
Aquaman
with his oven mitts.
Was that 2 or just 1?
Just 1.
Okay, you don't need 2.
And Shazam!
And
don't call him Captain Marvel, kids. Don't do it.
Yeah, call him Captain Marvel. It's all right.
Never.
And then one of the ones they never got around to making the first time around for Migo.
That's lit.
Oh, nice.
He comes with his lantern. It's behind the sticker.
He does not have oven mitts.
No.
I have a question though. When Shazam is surprised, does he say Gomer Pyle?
Yes. or
Green Lantern's
a
redhead. What's going on? I thought Green Lantern was a redhead.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan? No, he's brown. No, he's brown.
It's Charlie Vickers.
No, the real Green Lantern, baby. Guy Gardner. That's what I'm talking.
Charlie Vickers is the real.
Oh, yeah. The one that got one punched by Batman? Yeah.
Come on.
What else you got, Rack Time, Rob?
That's it.
All right. Mark Weber.
So the big deal here, I'm moving my Joes to offsite storage because we're trying to clean out our basement. My house has no what's the word? Oh yeah, garage. So everything's stored in the basement. It's a friggin' pit. Get out of here with that. That's racist. Get that out. So I'm moving the Joes, and there's a lot more than I remembered because I've been adding to it small, right? I'm an opener. I haven't opened anything in probably 20 years, just because it's easier to move in box. So they've just been literally piling up. But one of the only original Joes that I had that I kept the box of was the Terrordrome, because it stores great in the original box. It's kind of hard to store it without. So my original Terrordrome has been, borderline disassembled in a box for 35, 40 years. So I cracked it open this week, still in good shape, but it rattled more than expected. So what I got in is a little more of what I got back. So let me hold this up. You can identify them as you see them. All of this rattled out of my Terrordrome.
Nice.
So what do we see there, boys?
We got
I see an MMS Patriot missile, Tomax or Zaymot gun.
I see about $75 on eBay.
Right.
Yeah.
There's two gold missiles from Destro's anti-gravity pod.
Yep.
And the backpack to the Manta.
The backpack, baby. And my favorite bit, if you look, if I can zoom in real close here on the Tomax and Zaymot's gun, you can still see some fun tack on the back end of it because it always nested so poorly in their hands.
Yeah.
So I had a little fun tack action when I was a kid to make them point their damn guns straight. So I know that's mine. So anyway, happy that I found that stuff. Happy to get the Terrordrome out. I have had a plan for making a super Terrordrome for about 10 years. And I had all the spare parts laying out, but then I started moving stuff. And now I got out, actually assembled the Terrordrome. and I don't know where I put the spare parts. So 10 years, come back. When I do get the storage locker packed, and it is packed, I'll take an after photo to show. It's pretty impressive. It's not that big a storage thing, but it's very tall. So I gotta stack my stuff way, way up high. But almost all the Joes are out of the basement. Now next is Transformers, got a lot of them, and McFarlane Sports Picks. Imagine that. I got a lot of them.
All right. Well, I suppose it's my turn.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of story time coming with what we got in this week. Starting with Hey! There he is. That's number 58 for the collection for Beach Party 86. He is complete. He's got a crack on his right elbow, and that's really the only thing wrong with him. Is otherwise his paint's great and his joints are great. Also, while I went and got myself another Toxo Viper because I do like these guys a little bit too much.
It's another neon win that we didn't mention.
Yeah, he's a little early for that era. He's at 88, so I don't really consider him in that. And he's more purple. I don't know how neon that is.
Got a duck helmet.
Another pickup here is a Crimson Guard that was on the cheap. I got to get O-ring in him, and then lastly, regular Viper. So Beachhead's a little outnumbered this time around.
The Viper's got a good looking mask.
Yeah.
Again, I have a strict line that I stick to. Like I budget seriously. I don't splurge on these. I am a very dedicated eBay buyer in regards to the lines I won't cross. But so anyways, the Beachhead and the Toxo Viper came from longtime Joe Pal and a longtime friend of the show, Kevin Watts. First time I'd heard from Kevin in a while, so I know he had stepped away from all of this stuff for a bit because things didn't go so hot for him for a little bit, and that's what we all have to do sometimes. So I didn't hit him up in advance. I saw that he was the one selling them. I recognized his eBay ID, but I figured, we'll just if Kevin wants to chat, then we'll leave that up to him because he'll recognize my name certainly. There are not a ton of Irazaris out there, and so with it, he absolutely did recognize who he was selling to, and in great Kevin Watts fashion. Now, mind you, we talk a lot about noted author James Kavanaugh and his reputation. Well, Kevin, like a lot of what we talk about with James is kind of a joke, right? Like we talk James up more than what it actually is. With Kevin, with Kevin, sometimes it's the real deal. And so included in the box is this, I can only guess, extremely filthy deck of adult playing cards. Hi, Mike label on there. I have not looked under that label.
Big smiley face.
I am afraid to look under that label because it is very possible that, like pornography. I'm well into my 40s at this point. I'm not gonna be offended by pornography. But at the same time, when it comes from Kevin, it may be to the degree that I might see it when I close my eyes, and I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Like I am deathly afraid of the bonus that Kevin threw in that package. But I'm glad the years have not changed you one bit, Kevin Watts. We love you, brother.
And if you have a bonus to throw in a packet, head over to KY.
Right.
You see, now that way might be appropriate for
the fine selection at kygijoe.com.
You could probably buy those cards.
Right. So I am absolutely terrified of what is in that bag. I haven't even taken it out of the bag. It's just one of those. I don't know. Like that's going to get me on a list or something, isn't it?
might have to wash my eyeballs.
Because Kevin's reputation is earned. God love him. It is earned. Oh,
I think you won this segment, Mike.
I don't see how I possibly could have lost it. Oh my God. God Ravage says, "Hey guys." Hey guys. Hey God Ravage. But that's what we got in. It's terrifying, and it will probably leave nightmares, but we'll worry about that. We'll worry about that another day.
I don't know if I want that in the house. But I'm afraid to throw it out. Some of my
Right.
But again, it's good that Kevin is still Kevin. I love Kevin. I miss Kevin.
That's the encouraging part of all that.
Yes, it is. It is wonderful to know that our man is still out there doing the thing.
Doing God's work. Well,
maybe not God.
It's God's work.
What God we talking about, actually?
All right, we're running out of time in a big way. Quick, shout it out, Hooded Cobra Commander 788.
Shout out to Marianne. Thanks for stopping by this evening. Shout out to the What's on Joe Mind crew, and a special thanks to McNowan, Diana Davis, Matt Rubin, God Ravage, Philip Donnelly, and Jeff Butler. Thank you all very much, especially those guys.
Why those guys?
They just happen to be on the screen right now.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll. You dog, you. Ragtime Rob, shout it out.
Hey, shout out to the studio audience. Thanks for coming in tonight. Shout out to Brian. Thanks for filling in.
That's right.
Shout out to Joe. Say hi to Rick and TC.
Gold Brick. Mark Weber, shout it out.
Well, since we were raising money for the ASPCA, let's give a shout out to Emma the dog and Colin the cat.
Our spokes pets.
Our spokes beasts.
Yeah, and going into the way back machine to Tucker the cat, who puts both of them to shame, but that's all right. Tucker was fantastic. So to all you out there with fur babies and all you out there who should have some, and if you want a fur baby, kudos to Emma, kudos to Colin, and support your local pet shelter.
That's right. And if you missed the Ask Me Anything, if you missed the super chat, there's still, you got a couple of minutes to get it in there before it all shuts down. Otherwise, you can always head over to ASPCA.com, make your donation directly there. We'll get it up as far as what everything tabulated and what we'll be sending over. Because again, YouTube got to take their chunk. So whatever it is after that, we're adding $50 to it and it's going. So, again, thanks to our video, our live audience. If you're catching us on recording, we appreciate you too. Remember, if you're catching us on Facebook tonight, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a little huggy guy. If you're catching us on YouTube, give the video a thumbs up, share this in your social media circles, put us on your Reddit page, whatever. Subscribe to the channel. My God, not nearly enough of you subscribing to the channel. 30% of you every week are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel. That's so dumb.
Doesn't make any sense.
No. You subscribe. That way it lets you know every time we come on, every time we've got a new video to post. It's most every Friday at 9, but sometimes we do bonus stuff. You never know. We might surprise you.
Where we start sending out cards from Kevin.
That's it. One at a time. Keep showing up at your house.
The worst.
Next 52 subscribers.
Yeah. We're not putting it in the envelope either. We're going to tape it to the outside of the envelope. Yeah.
But and also to our audio listeners over on Podbean and wherever you get your podcasts, we got a good 300 subscribers coming to us that way too. So if you have a minute, please get over to YouTube, get yourself counted, and then just go back to listening however you listen. We don't care so much how, just so long as you get counted and we can count on you. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. As our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Tune in next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for another episode of What's on Joe Mind. Everybody, have a great weekend. And yo, Joe.
Thank you.